the call for radio for the Knicks. It was game 2. It was Jalen Brunson and the Knicks. It was Joel Embiid and the Sixers. Embiid would play. Maxey would play. Boy, would they. We're going to pick this thing up about 5 minutes left in the fourth. Sixers are down by 5. Embiid doing everything he can.
He was able to knock down a big-time three-point shot, but his game was limited to the perimeter down the stretch.
He was killing on the perimeter, though.
He had 34, and then Maxey. Monica, how good was Maxey in that fourth quarter?
Coming to this ball game, he has illness, didn't play like it at all, and for as limited as Joel Embiid, the two of them late worked so well together, 35 and 34 respectively. They expected to win this ball game.
Now we go to 40 seconds remaining. Knicks are down by 5. Brunson loses. Dante DiVincenzo gets a hold of it. It's Brunson who had a tough night shooting, but he gets the friendly roll, Monica.
This was the first 3 and the only one he made this ball game.
And then things go nuts. Listen.
2-point game. Ball knocked loose, and Maxey gets knocked down. Hart takes it away. Out top to DiVincenzo. His shot won't go. Hartenstein the rebound. Hartenstein gets it out to Anunoby. DiVincenzo a 3. Bang! Bang! Knicks take a 1-point lead with 13 seconds remaining.
All right, the double bang from Mike Breen on MSG. Again, you can see Nick Nurse is trying to signal for a timeout in that moment. We'll talk about it in a moment. Nurse was all kinds of aggravated immediately afterwards. Yes, that is Stephen A. standing right behind him. Ensuing Sixers possession. Here's the opportunity. Maxey, what do we see, Monica?
Isaiah Hartenstein. I've been telling y'all about the growth of this young man. Fantastic timing, fantastic energy. He comes up with that offensive rebound that gives Dante DiVincenzo the go-ahead 3. The last look by Joel Embiid, too little, too late, doesn't connect.
What a comeback. What a night at the Garden. Knicks win it 104-101. Joel, talk to me.
We should be 2-0, so, we're good. We're going to win this series. We're going to win this. We know what we got to fix. We did a better job today, so we're going to fix it. But we're the better team, and we're going to keep fighting.
Is he right?
He's saying what he needs to say. I don't know. I heard a lot of conviction in that, and the fact he's not actually looking up saying it. But listen,
got to be devastated.
Yeah, of course.
Devastated.
I don't know how you recover from this. This is the one you have to get if you've got a lead like that late. You've got to close out the game, and they had multiple chances to do it. So much is going to get made of. Was there a foul in that play when Maxey had the basketball? Yes, he got held before he got open. He got bumped by Josh Hart. The bottom line is you have to stay on your feet at all costs if you're Tyrese Maxey. And if you do go to the ground, that ball has to be rolled to the right side of your body to keep it away from the defender. He's trying to make a pass, it looks like, through someone's legs while he's laying on the ground. The ball is too valuable in that situation. So, look, they contributed to that, and the Knicks capitalized. I don't know how you recover from it. The loss is one thing. The fact that Joel Embiid basically was relegated to playing like a guard the entire second half of this game, that's what I don't know how you overcome. I don't know how that's going to get better as the series goes on, and they're not going to win this series if Joel Embiid is not a dominant force equally in the paint and on the perimeter like we see him all the time. And he's rebounding as well. Not a single rebound in the second half. That's the bigger story for the Sixers. How are you going to overcome that?
And I just don't see Joel Embiid's knee getting better over time throughout the course of this series. There were times last night where everybody at this table had to wonder, should he be playing right now? Mm-hmm. Like he was hobbling around on the court. He could barely get up and down the court. I'm going to say this about the Knicks culture. If Knicks fans ever see Jay Wright, the former head coach of Villanova, walking down the street, you better get on your knees and thank this man. He has literally imprinted Villanova's basketball culture on this team. And I'm giving Tibbs credit too. But even in Jalen Brunson having a great game 1, Josh Hart making big-time threes, getting offensive rebounds, Dante DiVincenzo making those plays, getting offensive rebounds. The way this team plays, they win the game in the margins around the details. Philly more talented. Knicks better executionally with the details.
So, radio analysts with this team had a chance to roll with them down the stretch of the season. And I can remember the Julius Randle injury, the OG Anunoby injury, right? And there was this idea, are they going to have gas for the postseason? To me, what has happened, the silver lining in those injuries, the development of Isaiah Hartenstein in particular, has been huge. He has had a great game last night, 2 big plays late. But they said it all the last month of the season. They said it all season. But the last dozen games or so, loud and proud, they've walked the walk on this. They find a way. They genuinely believe that. In our post-game interview with Isaiah Hartenstein, he said it. I don't know how many teams in that position that late in the ball game would have actually believed that they were going to win.
I thought the Sixers were going to win both games of this. Watching as they each progress, West.
Yeah.
I thought the Sixers were going to win game 1. I thought the Sixers were going to win game 2. They've got to find Embiid. It's painful to watch him. I mean, I feel sorry for him because he's giving you everything. What a warrior that guy is proving to be, right? He can barely walk. Tyrese Maxey apparently was ill last night. He was the best player on the floor. I mean, if you're the Sixers, this is a brutal pair of losses to start the series.
I mean, listen, Joel Embiid at 34, 10, and 6, and he's relegated to a one-dimensional offensive player. That's how great this guy is. He's so skilled. He's always going to make shots. But when Joel Embiid is really affecting games, he's roaming the paint. He's absolutely a deterrent at the rim. He's grabbing defensive boards. He's getting to the rim and getting to the foul line. All of that is taken off of his plate right now. All he can really do is make jump shots. That's not going to be enough in this series.
You just heard Embiid say, we're going to come back and win. They have to win 4 out of 5 games. Jay Williams, can they do it?
I don't think they can. I think they're going to make it a series. I think they could win a couple of games. It goes back to what my point was yesterday. I just don't see how his knee can improve over the next several days. I don't see that. I think if anything, your knee worsens up. Even if the next game is Thursday, you have today, you have tomorrow, but you're back in game action. That's a lot of wear and tear on a guy with his size, his frame, and the lack of conditioning that came into this juncture after his injury.
To that point, 2 days between game 3, then it goes 1-1-1. So you rocking and rolling in terms of the opportunity to turn things around. To me, the Knicks have just been able to plug and play. It's been different guys, although Josh Hart has had a tremendous series. And it's interesting because prior to the game yesterday, head coach Nick Nurse talked about the role players needing to give the Sixers, something. Didn't really get that. And besides, your stars had monster games, but you didn't really get the support that you needed. Meanwhile, who's going to be the Knicks' second best scorer? Jalen Brunson, in fact, is struggling. But they have an assortment of guys that they believe in, and the culture led the way.
Just 10 points off their bench. Look at some of the guys they're counting on as starters. Kelly Oubre is a massive offensive punch for them. 4 points in the game. Kyle Lowry had 8 points. Buddy Hield, Monica and I were talking about this before we came on. I didn't realize he was going to be this limited. I mean, he is that limited as a player. I thought he was going to be somebody that could have a significant impact in this series because he hasn't really played with Embiid much this year. He was completely taken out of the series. The pressure he had every time he caught the basketball, he just wanted to give it up and get rid of it and had no role in their offense. Basically, this was a two-man show. And then when you look at the Knicks box score, just look at the contributions of Bogdanovich. Had 2 big shots. OG Anunoby had some big plays.
Deuce McBride.
Deuce McBride.
Come on.
And these are all impactful plays, and you're looking at Philly on that end of the floor. You're saying it's going to be one of these 2 guys, or it's not going to be at all.
Yeah.
That's why, to answer your question, I don't see how they're going to win 4 out of 5 games.
Monica, there was a situation, and it kind of just it epitomized the game to me when Deuce McBride and Tyrese Maxey were held up, and it was a loose ball. I think it was in.
Give me that.
Ripped it.
Give me that.
Threw him to the ground.
Let's go.
It spoke to me about the toughness of the Knicks in that moment.
Agreed.
It really did.
It was as good a night as the NBA has given us in a very long time.